Think you don't have time for an accounting degree? Think WGU. Built for working adults, our fully online programs let you earn a degree on your time. Learn more at wgu.edu.
Did you bring that when you walk away? That's up to you.
Good morning, Good morning, everyone. We'll be starting in a minute, so if you can start finding your seats. Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Lou Paris. I am the Director of Economic Development for Volusia County. I'm the new guy, and this is my maiden voyage, yeah. I've been coming to this event for many, many years, and I'm very excited to now be emceeing this wonderful, wonderful event. It's one of my favorites in the county, so I'm very, very excited. I have a few housekeeping items before we get started with the program. if everyone could please turn off or silence your cell phones, you would help me tremendously. The bathrooms are to your left on this side through the double back doors. Today's event is being streamed live and captioned. To view live captioning, go to floridabusiness.org in the media center and look for closed captioning. There are question cards at each of your tables for our Q&A session. Fill them out and staff will come to you and pick them up and read your question. And at this time, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of our guests in the room in alphabetical order. David Santiago, Volusia County Council Member. Where are you? There you are. Nancy Miller, Daytona Beach Shores Mayor. Phyllis Budline, DeBary Vice Mayor. Debbie Dalbo, Edgewater Council Member. Lisa Stafford, Orange City Council Member. Susan Persis, Ormond Beach City Commissioner. Don Burnett, Port Orange Mayor. Leah Case, 7th Judicial Circuit Chief Judge. Rosemary Preddy, 7th Judicial Circuit Judge. And our favorite, Will Roberts, Volusia County Tax Collector. All right. And now a thank you to our sponsor, Frank Molnar, Managing Partner, Lifestyle Real Estate Group. So Frank, if you can come up here. Where are you, Frank? There you are. So, the picture is yours. How does it work? So, arrow, yeah.
Okay, great.
And
Great. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Lou. It's great to see so many business and community leaders and to discuss economic development in our community. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce the most incredible, hardest working, amazing team of real estate professionals in our community, the Lifestyle Group with Oceans Realty. DDR Snyder, who heads our residential division and is my right-hand person of everything I have going on, and thank you so much. Justin Felv, our managing broker. Drake Dickerson, which I guess he's late. He heads our Orlando office. He must have been stuck on I-4 or something. So, I moved to this community in 1977, and I'm proud to call this community home. I'm excited that my entire team, along with multiple clients, investors, and developers, are currently working on bringing over $1 billion worth of commercial and residential developments to the entire Central Florida region. These projects will not only elevate our community, but they'll bring millions of dollars in taxes to our cities and our county government. One of the projects we're working on is the $120 million Silver Beach project, which is a 270-unit condominium hotel project. Now that we got it permitted through the city of Daytona Beach, the next step is obviously trying to get it sold and getting it off the ground. So none of these projects are easy, as any of you know, have been involved in real estate development and bringing large projects to our community. I'm very passionate about bringing these projects forward, the deals that my company is working on, but I'm also very passionate about this community and working with all of you to bring our community forward in a positive direction, one that we can all be proud of. In order for positive changes to move forward and accelerate in our community, it is imperative that everyone who is in a leadership role in our community comes together and works towards common goals that have an impact and creates change throughout our community. Collaboration, vision, and synergies are the keys to positive growth. This community is going to continue to grow. Do we want quality growth, or do we want to just take what we can get? Our state is the #1 place for new businesses and business relocation. Hundreds of thousands of high-paying jobs have come to Florida in the last few years. It's time to start bringing some of these jobs to Volusia County. We need companies in aerospace, aviation, technology, finance. I challenge everyone in this room who works for a local government, be it agency, the city, the county, if your organization promotes economic development, I challenge all of you to come together and work together in the years ahead to bring 50,000 high-paying jobs to our community in the next 10 years. This would not only reduce the export of all of our children, Volusia County's #1 export, after they graduate college, but it would also reduce the high tax burden that is on all the current residents of residential real estate because of the small percentage of commercial real estate in our community. New companies and high-paying jobs will improve the quality of life for all of our residents with better shopping, nicer restaurants, more beautification through our community, and so much more. We might even get a Trader Joe's. Some of the top luxury brands have been capitalizing on the rich history of the name Daytona Beach for decades. One of these is Rolex. They sell hundreds of millions of dollars of Rolex Daytonas every year. Rolex sales surpassed $10 billion last year. The most expensive Rolex sold in history was Paul Newman's Rolex that sold a few years ago for just under $18 million. I don't know if any of you bought it, but it looks like a beautiful watch. Another luxury brand, Ferrari, has been capitalizing on the name Daytona for decades as well. This beautiful 1973 Ferrari Daytona just sold a few months ago for $3.7 million at an auction in South Florida. And last but not least, the brand new 2023 Ferrari SP3 Daytona, which prices started at $2.2 million, sold out as soon as it was announced last year. But of course you had to be invited by Ferrari just to buy one. Ferrari's market cap just surpassed $75 billion this year. Let's come together as a community and start capitalizing on that same name and rich history as a community. The time is now for all of our cities, the county, the Chambers of Commerce, Team Volusia, CO Alliance, and the entire business community to come together and work together towards making our community the #1 coastal community in the world. One that would not only be an incredible place to live, work, and play, but a world-class destination for visitors. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Frank. And I didn't make the cut. I had put in my order for the Ferrari, but they beat me to the punch. So, you know, it is what it is. Now, let's move on to announcements. So, let me use the mic here. Am I messing anything up with the camera if I move around? Okay, I see the no. Have you used this website or are aware of it, Volusia Business Resources? And I see a lot of yeses. Here's what I want to do. I want you to take out your phone 1 second, humor me here, and scan the QR code. That QR code will lead you to a phenomenal page, a page that has all the resources in the community that a business needs to be able to launch and grow, okay? These are all, it's an amazing platform. All services are available at no cost for the community here in Volusia County. We have 3 exciting things and updates with this website. One is that we have enhanced the calendar. So all the activities that are in there, when you browse them and you see something you like, with 1 click, you can actually connect that to your calendars, making it super easy for you to be able to be on top of all the events that you want to participate in the community. We also have improved the directory. We have enhanced it, and one of the things that we added were videos. And now when partners can actually upload a video of what they do, making it even simpler for the community to understand what they can expect from the services of each partner in the community. And the third thing that I'm super excited about to announce from the Volusia Business Resources is the Funding Readiness Center. Let me tell you the backstory quickly. The Volusia Business Resources is in touch with the community consistently to assess their needs, to find out what is it that they want, what they need to be able to grow. And we kept hearing time and again that funding was an issue. And so, you know, because we have an infinite amount of money and just to give out to the community, we had to look for the next best thing that we could do for the community. What can we do for them? And that was preparing them to be able to seek funding. And we got there because in speaking with the lending community, with bankers, we found out they want to give the money, but oftentimes when businesses come to them, they're not ready to engage, meaning they're not prepared with the right materials, they don't know how the process works, and so this platform will guide them through the process of securing funding. It's self-vetting, so you kind of do like your own self-checkup, and depending on how you answer, it will trigger a message indicating and teaching you how to move forward, you know, how to overcome whatever challenge you may have, okay? And so it's an amazing tool. You already scanned the QR code, and so, you know, tell people about it. You know, the idea here is to help the business community access funds, access money. Another exciting announcement is the Volusia County Permit and Code Enforcement Concierge Service. So this is for commercial, for residential. So let's say you want to build a deck in the back of your house and you don't know through what steps you have to go through. You can call the concierge service and you will be guided through the process and understand all the permits that you need. You know, have an expectation of how long the process will last. And so we're excited to be launching this. It's very active. We get many calls a day, mostly residential, a few commercial as well. But the idea here is to foster growth through, you know, all the development activity that requires permitting and code enforcement. Now moving on to the exciting data, and this is the part that I used to love, be able to sit here and find out what's happening in the county. So I get to tell you that now. Let's focus first on labor. Let's focus on employment and wages. So what you see here is the labor force and employment graph. The blue area is the employed population in the county, and the yellow fringe is the unemployment. If you look at the last quarter, you'll see that unemployment ticked up a little bit. It went from like 3.5 to 3.7%. And I'm going to give this a positive spin. It's actually a good thing that the number is there, because if that number were to drop, say, below 3, businesses would struggle to find the right candidates to work at their businesses and to grow those businesses. So we like that unemployment rate where it is. And look at the blue mass, the blue area has been increasing throughout the years, meaning that there are more and more jobs as we progress over time, okay? So that's good news there. Here you have the employment base broken down by industry. So you can see that there are certain industries that dominate the job market in Volusia County. And you know, the usual suspects, we have healthcare, leisure and hospitality, and retail. Our job in economic development, and this is a task that many organizations in the community work together on, like Team Volusia, CEO Business Alliance. Our job is to make all these green bars even and all the way to the end, okay? That's the goal. The goal is to have diversity in all these industries, to have many people employed in each of them, especially when you consider that some of the jobs at the bottom, say information and financial services, are very well-paying jobs. So, you know, the goal here is diversity, resiliency. Now we're looking at the average wage, and you have 3 lines. The blue line is Volusia County, orange, I think it's orange, Florida, and green, the United States. If you look at the green and the blue line, the slopes are very similar. So meaning that the average wage in our county mirrors, the growth mirrors the United States. Florida, you can see it's a little steeper, okay? So the jobs have gained more their value, or I don't know how to phrase it, than the average of the country by virtue of something, you know, a special situation that we have with certain counties in Florida that are above the average. So let me break this down. This dotted line at the bottom is the average wage in Volusia County, and the one above is the average for Florida. And you have, the bars are Duval, Broward, Hillsborough, Palm Beach, and Miami-Dade. These are large markets that typically have something special going on, like a port, military base, many corporate headquarters. So they command, typically for those reasons, higher wages. My way of telling you in this graph that we're in a good place, and I say this for a couple of reasons. Well, first, out of 67 counties, we're number 28, so we're sort of in the middle. And think about the fact that this is the wage level that the current business composition can support, okay? That's what it is right now. And to the extent that we bring and attract businesses that are, high-paying, with high-paying wages, that average will increase. Okay, so that level as well, if we're in the middle of the pack, puts us in a great position to be able to attract new businesses. If that's the goal is to diversify and attract, we are in a good position to do so. Now this graph looks a little bit cryptic. Let me help you. We're kind of overlaying two things. The blue bars that we see here are number of employees per industry. And the black dots that you see right across the graph are how much they make, okay? So I'm showing you this because ideally, logically, we want to focus on the dots that are on the left side because they're the high-paying jobs, right? That makes sense. And so we would be targeting specific industries to the left, like information, financial services, advanced manufacturing, professional services. So to the extent that we can grow and attract those businesses, the average wages will naturally increase, okay? That's not to say that, we love leisure and hospitality, and it's an industry. We have always been a tourist destination. We can't change that. That's part of our fabric, who we are. And so that will grow on its own to the extent that everything else continues to grow. I hope that makes sense. Now moving on to permits. The activity with commercial permits is very stable. You can see we had in this first quarter 50 permits. And the value, if you look at the last 4 quarters, it's consistent, okay? We do have, you may look at the first bar and go, geez, what happened there? Amazon, that large warehouse. So that's kind of skews the number. But if you were to remove that anomaly, if you will, a good anomaly, we're very stable with that growth. The theme of diversity is once again portrayed on this image. Look at the diversity of the composition of commercial construction in the county. Yes, leisure and hospitality leads the pack, but again, we have a very large hotel project in Ormond Beach, but otherwise, the volume of construction in all these different industries is very, very even. So it's a good thing. Now, residential permitting, we are in the first quarter at 888 permits. Going on the theme of looking at the last 4 quarters, we can see that it's consistent. And this quarter, it's a little bit higher by virtue of 2 things. We have developments in DeBary and New Smyrna Beach where the value of the homes were a little bit above average. And so that brought that bar, made it a little bit bigger. So again, very healthy environment in construction. See, I'm only giving you guys good news, so keep me here. Now talking about education. In education, this is high school, post-secondary, and associate degrees. General education is your high school diplomas. We have 6,056. What I want you to get from this slide is that we are graduating and preparing students who are exactly what our community needs. We're seeing more and more businesses needing certifications and professional skills, and we're giving them that. So these folks are entering the workforce very nicely and seamlessly, okay? Now looking at bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, similar story here. We may consider, okay, this is, in a way, the export, you are exporting all this talent, and we can call it a brain drain, but let me give it a positive spin one more time. The businesses in the area that need any of these will get them because there they are, we're graduating them. And to the extent that we're able to attract those businesses that are in advanced manufacturing, that are in financial services, to the extent that we have more of those businesses, we'll be able to retain more of these folks. So it's a matter of, continuing with the process and growing progressively, okay? And with that, I'm gonna introduce, for what you actually came here for, our panel. All right, give me a second here to... All right, let me introduce the panel. First, Nick Conti serves as the City of DeLand's Economic Development Practitioner and is responsible for helping existing DeLand businesses to expand and grow. He also works with regional partners in the private and public sectors to showcase the community as a great place to relocate out of the area businesses. Leadership refers to Nick, and I love this, as a Swiss Army knife tasked with handling a variety of tasks from providing customer support with developers on challenging projects to writing business redevelopment grants and serving a go-between the real estate firms and the city's planning and building departments. So welcome, Nick. There you are. Take your pick. You look good there. Chris Edwards, Director of CRA Economic Development for the City of New Smyrna Beach, is responsible for managing the city's Community Redevelopment Agency District and economic development projects and programs. He has been instrumental in promoting the city through media outlets and managing innovative incentive programs and capital improvement projects that support new affordable housing development, adaptive reuse, commercial redevelopment, and new commercial light industrial construction development projects throughout the city and CRA districts. So welcome, Chris. And last but not least, Sherry Simmons is the Economic Development Communications and Government Affairs Director for the City of DeBary, where she leads initiatives in community development and public affairs. She is an award-winning public affairs and economic development leader specializing in fostering collaborations that propel business transformations. She has played a pivotal role in supporting elected leaders, governments, and associations through impactful media campaigns and economic development initiatives. So welcome, Sherry. All right, we have 4 questions here for you, and I want to kick it off with a question about let me set this up the right way, because a little more context. Let me start on this side. We have DeLand, Nick Conte, with the oldest downtown in the county.
That's right.
I'll leave you for last.
That's correct.
Then we have DeBary with the soon-to-be newest downtown in the county. And New Smyrna Beach here, Chris, with not 1 but 2 downtowns. Right. So tell us a little bit about, I want to hear from what makes your downtowns unique. And
Well, are you going to go first? Because you don't really have. Go ahead. You can go first.
Okay. Well, I think, and I think we've discussed this among ourselves. First of all, I think each of us have, they're all very unique. In DeBary, we are building our asset, because it's new, around our lifestyle. Whereas these guys are fortunate enough, they have a fabulous asset that they can build a lifestyle around. I think you have that wonderful historic district, build a lifestyle around that, and then you have 2 lifestyles. You have that wonderful art lifestyle down there, and then the beach side. As for DeBary, so our lifestyle is we're a very close-knit community. And so we're going to play on that. And we also have the asset of the Sunrail system and, of course, our fabulous ecotourism activities. We're the trail capital, basically, of Central Florida. Georgia, right? Georgia knows all the wonderful things we have. You can ride your bike from DeBary to St. Augustine, St. Petersburg. And just not even a mile, these activities, you could do kayaking, you can do primitive camping, you can do all of these things from our main street, and you'll just be connected by trails. So I think we're very unique in that. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our new jewel, Alexander Island, where you're going to be able to do fishing. We're going to have fishing docks, another kayak launch, and Georgia's favorite aspect, the beach. You'll even have a riverside beach. So I think that makes our downtown unique.
Perfect, thank you.
You know, one of the things today, these are practitioners, right? No, 3 of us, which means, at least in DeLand's case, if you came here today thinking I was going to give you some secret recipe about how the downtown works, I hate to disappoint you. I will say this: it takes everything. What I've learned, it's not just the city is involved and has skin in the game. It's the merchants. It's private investors. It's the citizens themselves. It's literally all a mix. I wish I had a cooler answer to say, well, we wrote this program. Main Street DeLand Association is an operation that operates full year. Their job from the beginning was, and it's now going to be their 40th year in operation, their whole mission, it's their beach. like Daytona has a beach. Main Street and downtown DeLand, that's our beach. So they've made that investment over plus 40 years. It's been around that long. Lou's going to ask a question about some of the challenges. It's just figuring out what's next. They've been able to get a couple of events that stuck. They started with something. Has anybody been to the dog parade in DeLand, by the way? There's a few hands. This thing started kind of as a whim by one of the collections in DeLand. And this thing now, 9,000 people show up for this event. 9,000. That's kind of a big event. And it's because they kept doing it, and then they believed in it, and then the merchants believed in it. And that's it, Lou. I'm sorry. That was the. I tried to get it to. Give me this. You got to give me the cut the stage.
You're good. Chris. Yes, and New Smyrna Beach is certainly one of those unique communities. Thank you. You're welcome. Crank me up a little bit there, Lou. But New Smyrna Beach is definitely one of those unique communities in that two downtowns. It's not common, but we do have two different flavors. Obviously, as Sherry alluded to earlier, we have the more mainland type downtown, and we also have the beach side. And both of them very complementary of each other. They actually feed off of each other, and so you have an eclectic mix of retail and restaurants and art galleries and all of those professional offices, and we're seeing a lot more adaptive reuse in those areas in particular. And just being New Smyrna Beach and being shark capital of the world, we kind of get that as our tag there. And so we certainly have a very unique community in that those downtowns are very well connected. And we even have a group called Community Connectors that are all about bringing those two sides together, because really it is one city with two different flavors, and that's a unique mix.
Thank you. Now, downtowns are a specific area of an entire city. I'm interested in learning more about how does the downtown impact your economic development overall? And if you have any stories, feel free to share them.
I have just a quick one. So last year we were in the running for a major project. Keith, just you can duck so you don't have to listen to the story again. And one of the reasons that they were sold on the community was that they liked the lifestyle. I don't think there was even a dollar incentive that was put on the table yet. Not at all. They were thinking about their workforce and the people that would actually be here in the community, and that's what they saw the downtown, and yet they may not live right at downtown, they maybe live a little bit outside of downtown, but they've claimed that as like their place. And honestly, that kept us in it from the beginning, probably till the end, was that, quote, hometown feel. I'm looking at Sherry, because we got great resources throughout West Volusia and Volusia County. So it was a nice chance. They wanted to do everything, beach, boat, and we had that. That was what kept us in the game.
For us, I think it's the excitement. I'm so excited to work with a great team, from our city manager, Carmen, who's here, our vice mayor, our mayor. I have my team, Casey's our communications manager. We're all so passionate, and we've done aggressive marketing about the downtown, and that's attracted businesses. I don't know if he's here today. Pepe's came from Winter Park, because he saw what we were doing and wanted to be a part of it. And he told me, he said, I know we're going to be the most expensive restaurant in DeBary, but I'm planting my stake here so that I can then be a part of the new downtown. And I have another restaurant, a Salted Goat. They're farm to table, and I encourage you, please,
it's really good.
Please,
good food.
Yeah, please go try them. They are fabulous. But she came here because we have a high income, number one. 83,000 is our household income, but also to be a part of the excitement that they see that DeBary's bringing.
And I'll just say, obviously, we have walkable downtowns too. I want to add that. And when you start talking, yes, sharks that walk downtown too. But we have those unique walkable downtowns, and we also have those times when you obviously have a new business coming into the community. We offer a unique mix with regards to pre-app opportunities, where we sit down and we talk to those companies about their vision for properties. Like we have an old Volusia County building, thank you, for selling that building. That's been a unique impact, an automatic impact to our downtown and Canal Street historic district, and then also Flagler Avenue. You're starting to see a lot more private property owners who are taking that time to reinvest. And as you can see in the report for this quarter, our commercial redevelopment activity is going up, and we need more of that. Our city is focused on diversifying its tax base and becoming more than just the residential go-to or the fun beach place. We want to be in that conversation when we're looking at different companies and industries. We heard about the various industries of healthcare and aviation, aerospace. Well, those families, they want walkable downtowns, they want engaging downtowns, and we offer that through our special events that are amazing and fantastic every year that we provide those. But they've had tremendous economic impact. They're certainly on our airport, which is a $241 million impacted airport that is probably one of the top busiest airports in the state. So it's a good thing to have something that people can come to and shop and have that foot traffic and engage with our local business owners, who are very engaging, by the way. I've enjoyed at times canvassing those streets, talking to business owners, because they're very engaging people and very inviting.
I'll say your comment about diversifying the tax base is real important. DeBary is a 98% single-family homes. So now through this process, we're adding more commercial. We're adding a diverse type of living. We now will have townhouses, apartments. So diversifying the tax base, this is something we try to explain to our residents, is that this is actually going to help. We're not going to have to come to you to get money, and our downtown is going to generate. I don't know. David, I know you. I know he had to step out. Councilman Santiago, we are going to be contributing to the Volusia County tax base with. This is land that was, had cows on it. Well, now it's going to be obviously developed property, and the additional sales tax. So we are going to be contributing significantly. And you mentioned commercial. We want to make sure our commercial increase that aspect of our tax base as well.
We can talk later.
I have some things I want to talk to you about.
Hey, stay away from him. He's already a partner with me. Stop that.
Let's talk now about challenges. What challenges do you face with your downtowns?
Well, I take a stab at that. Obviously, as in a growing community, one of the biggest challenges that we have in those downtowns is parking. And of course, with great leadership and bold leadership in place, elected and appointed, we've been able to formulate a parking task force. And I see some of those great faces in the room that contributed to all of those recommendations and ideas to address that and take that head on. Because again, as more people do want to come to your downtowns, you have to get a little more creative because your land is not growing, but you have to get more creative with the land you have. And so I used that example earlier on Flagler. We have private property owners who are presenting ideas and concepts for trying to address that on their own private properties to make those public-private partnerships possible for us to address that big elephant in the room of parking, because that tends to be a citywide, but particularly in our downtown area, issue that we are tackling, and we are coming up with solutions. We've engaged a consultant to work on strategies and recommendations that will begin to address that primary issue. Also, I think one of the challenges is as those areas increase, you're going to have increases in the cost of leasing those spaces or buying those spaces. And we certainly have that there in New Smyrna Beach, where some businesses are having to acquiesce to the market. And that's a good thing. We're seeing more value, but the cost of doing business as well will go up.
I think besides, the permanent stuff, you're talking about parking, that's always going to be there. In DeLand's case, they've always had a historic downtown. Everybody's known about it. Is actually having a community or residents that live nearby or physically in some of what is the declared downtown. So that's kind of a very delicate balance, because you obviously want to encourage that. The citizens and residents of DeLand feel this is the way they like it as well. But I've had this missing middle, which is the folks that I'd say, empty nest are such a term, but you guys get what I mean, that want to live somewhere close. They can go out to eat. Maybe there'll be a pop-up grocer in the downtown, somewhere they can go and do a few things and then just basically walk back home. There are a few, but there is not anything yet. I mean, we're just coming online with a bit of stuff right now. There's other stuff proposed, and I hope it happens. Most of the historic downtowns that are still in existence have invited in a residential component.
Thank you.
So hopefully we're solving that with what we're doing.
They're doing it backwards, but that's good.
Yeah, we're building a residential component, and we want our residents there to be engaged. All the housing options have balconies. We want them to be a part of that Main Street. But in terms of a threat, it really, are there any state reps here? I don't want to. In terms of
Make sure
threat,
they've left first. Okay.
it really is coming from the state level. This Live Local Act we already see it trying to eat away at our industrial and commercial properties. We are putting in place certain land codes that hopefully will protect us, but we already have inquiries where they just want to build apartments and not do the commercial aspect of it. And just a quick note on the Live Local. It's truly not affordable. If it was affordable, it would need to be built at the 80% AMI, MSA, excuse me, or under. And our apartments are already charging, the apartments we have are already charging the market rate, and yet now they're getting a tax rebate, and you still don't have housing for people making the average wage here in Volusia. According to the Live Local Act, people can make the apartments can be for rates of $65,000 average salary, and we need to find homes for people making 49 and under. So, and they're getting the tax rebate, so they're taking money. In fact, the one apartment that has been open for 3-4 years, it's taking $220,000 out of the tax. So, Bill, where's Will? Will, you're going to be taking less money this year. So I think that's our threat.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything at all. Just to know.
So to us, I think that's our biggest threat.
Thank you. And thank you for being candid with each of your situations. Let's now focus on the future. So where do we see your downtowns heading in the next, you pick your time frame, 5, 10 years, and not only that, talk about the economic development impact of that vision that you have.
In a historic downtown, one of the challenges is that word historic. So a lot of the structures themselves are centuries old. And what we've unfortunately began to discover is, they're still, even through, I think, maybe with the exception of Sherry's, it's a road that goes through the downtown. So there's times that there's vehicles that probably are larger than they should be that are going through the downtown. So then what's happening is there's obviously an infrastructure situation there. Challenge, or how we get around it, is we have to be, hopefully as a city, maybe as a county, a little more creative about how those areas are impacted by traffic, just in general. There is a truck route that's set up so people could go around it, but sometimes people don't use that. So that's a challenge for us to figure out how we do that. Where it's going to be, I always kind of defer to what I think the merchants in the private sector says as well. Yes, we have things that we'd like to do on the public side, but we can't do that without the private side. So I always leave that conversation a bit to where the merchants are, because the merchants have shaped. I see Manny De La Vega back. I'm giving him a shout out only because he's a merchant from downtown DeLand for umpteen years, and they've always been a tight association as well that have kind of helped steer it. So whatever the merchants hope, we hope to follow them.
Yeah, definitely. I think for us in the future, we're starting to see an example of that as our partners at New Smyrna Beach Utilities. And the traditional use of that has been an administrative building, but we've been envisioning something greater than that, in that we could make that another adaptive reuse property on a very significant impact to our canal street and the city as a whole. To have something there, perhaps as a boutique hotel or some type of commercial and retail on the bottom. And so we've been engaging economic analysts on that and getting ideas about that, because we have growth projected west in New Smyrna Beach. But for our downtowns in particular, I see us being destination cores. I see those downtowns being places people want to be, and then being creative about how we usher in those people strategically. And that's something that New Smyrna Beach has been priding itself on, is being strategic about how we address the growth, and not just, sporadic growth and out of control, but strategic and intentional. I think we want to be intentional about diversifying those areas and making those areas even stronger than what they are, and embracing the charm and character that is New Smyrna Beach. Making sure we're not losing our identity as we grow, particularly in those destination cores, and being able to keep those anchor businesses that have been there, that have history. We have family-owned small businesses who care passionately about what they do, and they pass that on generation to generation. So we want to see that more and more take place, with our kids not leaving the community, but actually staying in the community. And if they open up mom and dad's business, or if it's handed down to them, that's something we see a generational shift there, where we see a lot more kids staying and opening up unique businesses. Maybe they're opening up some kind of co-working space downtown, something out of the box that you normally don't see downtown, something that integrates well. So being innovative, I think that's one of the things, innovative land uses that we can blend in and keep the character, keep the historic charm in both Flagler and Canal, and make that complementary as they already are.
So for us, 5 years, we'll have our downtown. That's the project. But in what Chris was saying, we joke in DeBary, we're getting younger and richer. So move to DeBary and you'll get younger and richer, like Nick.
I'm neither of those things, but thank you.
But again, it's going to be a catalyst for economic growth. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't say we work with a great team in Volusia overall. We have some of our other economic development directors here. And I think... You
can't do it without everybody, by the way. It's a group effort. These people, we're joking around. We talk often, not bad stuff, but if there's stuff we can't fit, then it goes to Sherry or Chris or somebody else. This organization, I've always been proud of the practitioners, is as long as you stay here, maybe Frank, you hit this earlier, invest here. This is what we're looking for you to do. I'd prefer it be in my community, of course, but I'm not going to cry if it just trickles somewhere else. That's good. We all get there.
Yeah, we have great partners with Volusia, with Team Volusia. I see Elizabeth is here from Duke. We all work very closely together, so it's a great team.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we obviously have a very strong collaboration as practitioners around the county, especially New Smyrna, Edgewater, Oak Hill, Southeast Volusia. Part of that, we're all one big family, and we like to get together, bounce ideas off each other. So what flavor you see over in DeBary and DeLand, you might see in New Smyrna, you might see a little bit of because we feed off of each other's successes.
Let me add one question that we hadn't discussed before, but is...
Uh-oh, here it comes. The zinger.
Actually, let me keep it simple. Any last thoughts? Anything you would like to add?
I just thank everybody for coming out today. I really appreciate you. We appreciate you coming out. I know Lou. Congratulations on your first Q. I enjoy this very much, and I'm pleased to say the county, we didn't mention that yet, is the partner. They've brought all this together, and they continue to year after year. So God bless you with all that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate the invitation. We're glad we have two downtown. So we have two to keep us busy, right? Keep us focused. Right? Absolutely. And so we're excited about all the great things that are happening in DeBary, certainly with this new downtown, and of course, DeLand and the great places over there. So we all, again, I think we all have found a way to navigate between the communities and find Volusia overall to be a fantastic place to be.
And I just want to say again, the support that we have from each other. So many came out to our groundbreaking that our developers who, they do this all the time, they said they've never seen a groundbreaking like what we did because of the support from the community. I will say, some of our goals, we're hoping I need a coffee shop, I need a bank, and I need a boutique, or Georgia needs a boutique hotel. So I would like to see all those things on our main street in addition to all the shops and restaurants.
She's always selling. I love you for that.
And we have time for questions from the public, the community. Yeah.
Okay. I have one question right now about tax increment financing districts. Can you speak about it at all?
I can speak about it. I don't know if it's going to sound a whole good. Are you talking about CRAs or are we talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many you've got? I've got
one.
I've got one. You got zero down there? One. So yeah, we have one that's declared, and then the city actually has one of their own. It's a gateway. It's not regulated as much by what the state statute is. So we've got one, and they have their own review committees. I helped them write the grants, but this year alone we did about $50,000 in grants. And I was really excited about that because in previous, closer to pandemic years, that number was pretty anemic, and obviously so. People weren't building or doing anything, so I take that as a plus, especially because redevelopment is our sweet spot.
You know, it's unique in New Smyrna with TIFs because in our CRA district, the old CRA we called it, included canal and flagland. A lot of the redevelopment and revitalization that has been seen over time was because of that CRA. Being a catalyst, being able to help be a partner with those private landowners, it really kind of took old properties when that CRA was around back in the late 80s up until 2015 and really kind of helped to begin to shift both downtowns. And so now we have the current CRA that's feeding the gateways that lead into those downtowns. So it's a very unique and positive environment with the CRA district.
So I'm jealous. I don't have a CRA. I say this, I think, at every practitioner meeting. But what I do have is the lowest millage rate in Volusia. So if you come in and buy your property, you're going to be paying, I don't know, Carmen, 50% less? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah, make him say less. You got the CM right here. Put him in the.
we'll cover your ears.
Yeah, and quickly an announcement. So Tatiana's going to be walking around. Our sponsor today is collecting business cards for a giveaway. So if you have a business card on you and you want to participate, please.
Good giveaway.
For
So-
one of the condos? Or-
Yes, you get a Ferrari, a Rolex, and a free
Dave,
condo. So,
Get my business card. Get my business card out. Thanks.
so question is.
So sorry, my mic's not working, but thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much to all of
No.
you coming out. Part of
Gary,
yes.
questions for you.
Okay.
sorry, part of my.
Turn in the bedroom.
Well, first of all, thank you for all
I don't want to
coming
miss this.
out. Part of my job as I've immersed myself in this community is to learn about every community and write about your communities. I am in love with DeLand and the historical aspects, and New Smyrna, the two cities and the two downtowns is just, wonderful. One city, two downtowns. My question is for you as I hear this emerging new city coming alive. I'm super excited for you because I was recently writing about your town. And my question is, do you put any mandates into all this new residential that's being built to have mixed use? Because you touched
Yes.
on it, so that your downtown Main Street or that corridor does have all those little shops that help, the community grow.
Yeah, it's in our, what we call our transit-oriented development district. And so I will say the TOD was created 10 years ago. However, at that time, there was nothing in the land development code. So when our city manager and this council came in 2019, that was one of their first things they did because it was primed for inconsistent growth. Someone owned an acre, a half acre, 3 acres. So we put in these in our code. So if you're going to be in the TOD district, you must be on the first floor, must be commercial, and that's front facing. So the downtown or the Main Street is 2 parts. One part has about 250 townhomes. The 36 that line Main Street are going to be mixed use. So you can live upstairs and you have your office, a little ice cream shop, a little real estate office on the bottom, and live upstairs. The other side is about 400 apartments, and you're going to see, again, commercial on the first floor, all restaurants. And it's about 55,000 square feet of commercial in the 50 acres. That's the downtown.
It for questions.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Lifestyle Real Estate Group, and Frank, if you would come up to do the drawing of the the Rolex. And while Frank is coming up, if anyone is interested in sponsoring the next future Q Breakfast, please speak to me after the event. I would love to have you on board. And mark your calendars for the next Q on August 16th. So, Frank?
I'm going to let you draw it, Lou. That way you know it's not rigged.
Gosh, let me not look. Yeah. Okay, let me do this and get my. Okay. I'm not looking. Okay, this one feels hefty. James Alvarado, Career Source. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again for joining us this morning. So, have a great weekend.